Today, we're going to talk about what is lifespan versus healthspan. How are they connected? Why is there such a gap? And what you can do to increase your healthspan. But before I talk about the difference between healthspan and lifespan, if you know anyone that would like this information, please share. I always say you don't know what you don't know. And we are all in this life to help one another. This channel is all about helping you live a healthier life. So like, comment, subscribe. All right, let's get to it. So first, let's talk about how they're connected. In 1919, the average life expectancy of people born in the US was 56 years old. Today, that's risen to almost 79 years of age. So we're living longer, right? But health has many dimensions. We all want to live longer, but not many of us have added that we want to live longer and be healthier. So that's the difference between lifespan and healthspan. Lifespan equals the duration that you are in your body. Healthspan measures how healthy that life is going to be until the end of your life. What they're saying is that the majority of Americans live the last 10 years of their life in a nursing home at a whopping $140,000 a year. Right now it's $108,000. I don't have that kind of money, do you? Healthspan is the period that you spend in good health, free from chronic disease and all the challenges of aging. Not merely the absence of disease, but a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being. So how healthy are you going to be during your life? That depends on your choices and decisions, which leads us to the conversation of prevention, age-related diseases, and healthy choices. Many of us have heard about lifespan, but we don't really know the importance of healthspan. If you're past your healthspan, that means that they're usually chronically sick and typically have some type of degenerative condition or chronic illness. Unlike the average lifespan, most Americans live until they're about 80 years of age, on average. But we don't really have a good marker for healthspan yet. So let's talk about the gap between healthspan and lifespan. 2.9 billion people in 1950, as compared to 7.8 billion people in 2020. The average life expectancy benchmark of health has risen from 47 years old to 73 years of age in the past 7 decades alone. So understanding how we age and what we can do to promote healthy aging is the key to building on our health span. People measure health like beauty. One person might feel if their doctor says their vital signs are normal and they're able to take care of themselves, that they're healthy. Well, another person feels if they are restricted from enjoying any of the activities they normally do and they can't do what they used to do, then they're no longer healthy. So your health span is going to depend on your mindset and beliefs. But some people feel the greatest human accomplishment in the past century is the increase of life expectancy. But is it? If you're living unhealthy? So we're living a lot longer. We're just not living as healthy. We're focusing on increasing life expectancy instead of focusing in the recent decades on our health span. The good news is being aware of health span versus the lifespan gap means that you can work on finding ways to treat risk factors, chronic diseases, and actually improve your choices to improve your overall health span and lifespan by getting different tests done, blood work done, changing your diet, watching how you breathe, what's not in balance. Rather than waiting until you have a symptom of a chronic disease, there's things you can do to prevent them. Our healthcare system treats symptoms. It's a sick care system. It doesn't treat healthy people. We wait until we have pain or symptoms before we go to the doctor generally. Most of us don't put our emphasis on what we can do to prevent these illnesses in the first place. Finding a baseline when we're in our teens or 20s and making sure that we have blood work or blood tests, making sure that we're testing. It wasn't until I got cancer that I really started thinking about this and learning about this and working with Dr. Shockley, who's a doctor of cost. And she says, if you're not testing, you're guessing. When I went to Northwestern, they treated my cancer. They didn't look at my body. They didn't look at my whole body. They didn't do blood work. They didn't see, did I have heavy metals? What was causing it? What caused my tumor? Our choices are what causes the disease. So we can unchoose what we created, right? We didn't talk about the fact that my choices created the disease in my body, or that maybe after I had the cancer removed, I should do something to prevent it from coming back after I had it cut out. My choices were cut it out, burn it out, poison it out, or do nothing. We didn't talk about the things that I might want to do to reverse what I had created in my body. To me, that seems like a much better option going forward, now knowing what I know. I'm not sure I would have had it cut out if I know what I know now. When we know better, we do better, right? It's not necessarily true. I know better. But do I still cheat and do things that I shouldn't do? Yes, I do. But now I have tests done to know what's happening in my body. Are the cancer numbers rising? Do I need to be better and buckle down? Chronic diseases develop over a lifespan. We really need to look at what's going on in our bodies sooner, make healthier choices. There are tests that can be done. And there's two opposing views on this, right? Health versus health span and life expectancy as we get older. Baby boomers in the US over the age of 65 are expected to more than double between now and 2060, outnumbering children for the first time, according to the Population Reference Bureau. This is a huge statistic. We're going to have more people over the age of 65 than we have younger people. That means that we're going to have to be caring for a lot of these people because they're going to be sicker. So by the time we get to 2060, if I were a betting person, I'd bet on how are we going to help the aging population. The current healthcare model, like I talked about, treats symptoms. They don't treat your body as a whole. They don't look for the root cause. And they don't teach us how to prevent disease when we're younger. They teach us to wait. So this is what I'm focusing on. What you can do, what we can do for our kids to change our habits now to increase their health span, not just their lifespan. And we need to think about how we're growing food, how we're assessing our medical care, what our choices are made. I have done more natural ways over the last year, and I'm paying more and more for insurance, but I'm using it less and less because they don't cover these healthy alternatives. So it's not helping me get better and stay better. And looking what's happening in my body and what I can do to prevent things from happening. Rather than waiting until I start to have symptoms again, I just go back to life as usual and wait for it to come back, right? I'm not going to do that. You don't have to do that either. So the choices you make are going to be huge. So many of our health policies now do not help build healthy minds, healthy bodies. We're not looking at what's happening with our children, with our children's future. Airway and breathing for our children is going to be huge. All of these things that we have done over the past decade are changing what's happening in our children, on our growth and development, how their mouth is growing, because we're not using our jaws, we're not chewing as much. And when our tongue is up, our airway grows bigger. So my generation, how our parents ate, how we're eating, are affecting our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. If we want to have change, we have to focus our efforts on change, improving health, teaching our children better habits, teaching them to eat better, demanding healthier food in order for their great-grandchildren to live healthier lives and be able to breathe better and have better bones and joints and not be sicker. We really have to change what we're doing now if we want our future kids to live better and live healthier and have a healthier lifespan. So how do you increase lifespan? To give ourselves more healthy years, we need to prevent chronic disease or manage conditions that you already have, or find out what's going on in your body so you can get all that out, get the heavy metals out, look at your body as a whole, find things before they turn into signs and symptoms like cardiovascular disease, cancer, respiratory disease, kidney disease, diabetes, sleep disorders, Alzheimer. Like, we can change our habits to change our outcomes if we want to live longer and have a healthier lifespan. Whether you ride a bike, walk, work out, all of these things can help decrease our risk. Heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, they are the leading cause of death in the United States. And you know what they're caused by? Habits, by the foods that we eat, by the way that we breathe. So I talk about taking ownership of your health. You own your body. You get one body. This is all you get. So the first thing we need to start with is our mouth and our nose. We can't live for more than 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen. And a lot of us aren't getting it because we're mouth breathing. So when we talk about being healthy, we should talk about our mouth. How are we breathing? How are our kids breathing? What kind of water are we consuming? Our bodies are 70% water. Where are we getting our water? What's in our water? Are we filtering out our water? Water is going to be really important to our survival. Oxygen, water, nutrition, our foods. Our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. We lived off the land. Whatever foods were available during the season, we chewed more. We are not using our jaws the way we used to. Our tongues are not up. We're not sleeping, right? So when we get enough sleep, that's when we get our rest and restore. When you're not sleeping and you're getting woken up in the middle of the night, you don't get that rest and restore. You're always in fight or flight. So we're not healing, repairing our bodies when we sleep. We're creating more inflammation with the foods that we eat and the fact that we're not getting enough sleep. So it comes down to respecting your body and making the choices. Your health is the greatest wealth you can have. Trust me, I know. I couldn't take care of myself. Others had to take care of me. I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's because I was in bed recovering from a double mastectomy. I won't get those moments back. And someone else had to take care of me. That was a little humiliating. This is why I share this stuff. I have a girlfriend, Melissa Dealey, that says, don't wait for the wake-up call. I waited for the wake-up call. Don't be like me. If you're not testing, you're guessing. My friend Kelly Shockley says, if you're not testing, you're guessing. She does test like Melissa. Do you have heavy metals? I had heavy metals. My mom had heavy metals. I passed that to my daughter. We can change that in her so she doesn't pass it to her daughter, right? But we have to start looking at this stuff so it doesn't get passed to the next generation. We need to demand healthier foods. If our kids eat better and they feed their children better, we can reverse this stuff, but it's going to take 3 generations to increase our health span. So we don't want to look back on the first half of the 20th century and be like, what did we do? 20% of the globe are going to be over 60. That's our future. They're going to be why our healthcare costs are on the rise. They're going to have chronic diseases. We can make a difference. Grateful people, too, tend to live happier, healthier lives. When you're happier, you live more years free of chronic illness. People with a more positive outlook on life tend to enjoy life better. Makes sense, right? They're not as depressed. They don't have anxiety. Breathing has a lot to do with that. The foods that we eat, getting enough sleep. Epigenetics and genetics do create a lot of this stuff. There's no clear answers on the correlation between happiness and health and lifespan and health span. But it does make sense to think about if you're happier, you're probably going to live longer, right? You're going to live a more positive life. You're going to be able to manage stress better. And you're just going to have a better life. So basically, it comes down to your thoughts, your mindset. Starts from the head, your thoughts, your mindset, how you breathe, what you choose to put in your mouth affects the rest of your body. No matter what happens, the choice is ultimately yours. Here's to living a healthier lifespan. If there's anything that I can do to help you, click the link below and schedule a 10-minute call with me. We can assess how you're breathing, what's happening with your family, and if you need a little bit of help. Life is all about helping others, sharing the wealth, which is your health. Life expectancy, the average life expectancy